Threading an overlocker can seem like rocket science. It can be complicated and difficult to do without the proper teaching or guidance. That's why today I'm going to show you the proper way to thread an overlocker or a serger. For the sake of this video, I'm going to thread just 3 of the thread, because when it comes to overlocking the edge of a fabric, we only need 3 of the thread. The essence of this 4th thread is to actually run a stitch. This machine actually performs dual function. It can finish the raw edge of a fabric, at the same time it can join 2 pieces of fabric together. So the essence of this 4th thread is to join 2 pieces of fabric together. This is the most important tool you will need when it comes to threading an overlocker. I can go as far as saying that without this, it's going to be almost impossible for you to thread it. The overlocker thread is usually very light, so this is what you need to hold on to the thread to pass it through the various holes that you need when threading the overlocker. Now this is the thread spool. So now we have 3 threads. This is the first thread. As you can see, you have to pass it through these holes here. As you can see, pass it through this hole. So as you can see, I've taken the thread, so I'm still going to pass it through this hole here. As you can see, pass it through this hole and bring it onto the other side and pull it out. What I did here's the thread spool. So I passed it through this first hole at the top here, passed it through this first hole, then came down, then still passed it through this hole, and I brought out the thread here. So that's the same thing I did for all the other 3 threads. Here's the second thread spool. I passed it through this hole, actually passed it through this other hole. Same thing with the other thread. So I've brought out my 3 threads. That's what I did. Now to open up the machine, the first thing I'm going to do now, this part like this, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to push it back like this. Then I'm going to pull it out like this. That's to open the thread area. Then this other part, there's a lever inside of here. So you're going to press it down. When you press it down, then you're going to open up this place like this. Now I'm going to take my first thread. So I'm going to take this tool now. I'm going to use it to hold the thread this way. As you can see, on this top part, there's a hole here. There are 4 holes on top of this iron. So I'm going to pass it through the first hole this way. As you can see, I passed the thread. And I'm going to use the tool to pull it out this way like this. As you can see, then there's also a hole at this first tension area here. So I'm going to take the piece of thread like this, and I'm still going to pass it through that hole from the back here. I'm going to pass it through that hole like this, as you can see. Then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to take the thread, I'm going to pass it around the tension area like this. As you can see, there's another hole at the bottom of the tension area, so I'm going to pass the thread through this hole like this. So I've actually passed the thread through the second hole. So now the next thing is, there are 2 holes here. As you can see, I'm going to pass it through the first hole. I'm going to pass it through this first hole here. So as you can see, it has actually come out from the other side. Here's the thread. I'm going to pass it into this first hole here. Then I'm going to connect it to all these other holes. Now I'm going to pass it through here this way, pull it out this way. As you can see, I've inserted it into this first hole. So I'm going to take the thread and insert it into the second hole here. As you can see, then I'm pulling it out on this other side. As you can see here, so I'm going to insert it into this third hole here like this. There are 2 holes here. So the first hole here, that's what I'm inserting it into. Insert it here, and I'll pull it out like this. I'm going to insert it into this other hole here. So I'm going to take the thread, insert it, then pull it out like this. So from here now, I'm going to insert it into this one here. I'm going to take the thread, I'm going to insert it into that hole here, and I'm going to navigate and pull it out. As you can see, as I'm moving the machine, you see 2 levers are moving. We have one here, this is one of the lever moving, and this is the second one. So what we want to do now, we want to put it on this one. That's this one here that my tool is touching, this one here. So what you do, you turn the machine so that this lever here, this one moving now, this one here will go back. When it goes back, you're going to pass the thread to this other side. When you pass the thread to this other side, I'm going to show you how to insert it. There's a hole here that can pass it and it will come out on this other side. So I'm going to pass it to this other side. I'm going to pass it. Then I'm going to use my tool on this other side. Then I'm going to pull it out. As you can see, I've pulled it out to that other side. So as you can see now, this is the part that will move to the other side. As you can see, this is the part. If you look at it very closely, there's a hole here, as you can see. So the idea, since I've passed the thread, this is the thread. Since I've passed it to this side, the idea now is you're going to take the edge of the thread and pass it from the inside out. I'm going to take the thread. So as you can see, I've positioned the thread. So I'm going to pass it from the inside out and pass it to the other side like this. I've actually inserted the thread, so I'm pulling it out this way. As you can see, you're going to turn the wheel of the overlocker to bring back that lever that you inserted the thread. As you can see, so this is the lever here. So I'm going to pull out that thread now and pull it out this way. I'm pulling the thread to come out on this side. I've already inserted it on the iron, as you can see. So see, I've actually pulled it out. This is the iron. On the iron, there's a hole here. So I'm going to take the edge of the thread this way I'm going to insert it into the hole here. As I've put it out, as you can see, I've inserted it into the second hole here. You're going to raise the presser foot, so I'm going to pass it to the needle area here and pull it out on the other side. So as you can see, I've actually pulled it to the needle area. So that's how to thread the first thread. So now the second thread is going to follow a similar method just like the first thread. Pass it through this iron, pull it out, then pass it into this first hole on the tension disc like this, pull it out like this. Pass it over the tension plate, make sure it's inside the tension plate, then pass it into this hole underneath and pull it out. First thread, I passed it through this first hole, as you can see. So I'm going to pass the second thread into the second hole. So I'm going to pass it down. So as you can see, I've actually pulled it out on the lower part. I'm going to pass it through here, the second hole. You know, see the other one I passed through the first thread. So now this one is going into this hole. So I'm going to pass it in this hole here, as you can see. That's why this tool is very important to guide you. Pull it out, as you can see. There are two holes here, so you will fix the first thread on this first hole. So the second hole, I'm going to pass it in like this, and I'm going to pull it out like this. And I'm going to pass it into this other hole here, and I'm going to pull it out like this. Pass it into this other hole, then I'm going to pull it out like this. Now when you get to this point, you're going to turn the wheel and pull this other part. There are two parts. You know, you use the first thread to thread the first one. So now this second one, this is it here, this two you see here. So there are two holes here. So you're going to pass the thread from this hole here, and it will come out on this other side here. See, so I'm going to put it inside the first hole. So when I start it into this other hole, I'm just going to pull it in, and it's going to come out on the other hole, as you can see. So put it in. As you can see, it has come out on this other part, so I'm going to pull. There's a second hole here, as you can see, from the other mouth. So I'm going to insert it in. So I'm going to use my tool, hold this part down like this. Then I'm going to insert it into the hole at the edge. As you can see, it has come out. I'm going to pull it out this way. Then I'm going to pass this edge of this thread to the needle area. Then I'm going to pull it, as you can see. So now we are done with the second thread. So now for the third thread, which is the needle thread, pass it through this part, pull it, pass it in through this hole here, pull it, pass it through the tension disc like this. Now you're going to open this needle area here. So there are three holes here. So I'm going to take my thread and pass it through this first hole here, pull it on the other side, pull it out like this. If I turn the wheel, you see the lever is going up and down. This is the lever. So now before you pass it into this lever, there is one hole here. As you can see, there's a hole here. I'm going to pass it through here, then pass it through this lever, then pass it through this second hole here. There are three areas that I'll pass the thread. I'm going to pass it through the first hole like this. As you can see, I've passed it through the middle hole. This is the middle hole, and the other hole. This thing you see moving, there's a hole in the middle of it, so I passed it through all the holes like this. So now I'm going to pass it through one of the holes here, either this hole or this hole, from the inside out. See, I've passed the thread into the hole here. I'm going to pull it out, as you can see. This iron that you see here, there are two hooks here, an area where you need to position the thread inside of here, where this my iron is actually holding. I'm going to pass it into that hole there, as you can see. So it's positioned into that area. So the next thing now is to fix the thread into the needle. So insert the thread into the needle. This is the needle. As you can see, it's hidden. You're going to turn the wheel of the machine to raise the needle up. Then you're going to take your tool here. You are inserting the thread from the outside in. So as you can see, I've inserted it into the needle. So I'm inserting my tool on this side. So I'm going to pull it on the other side from the inside. I'm going to pull it out this way. As you can see, I've pulled it. So now the thread has been inserted into the needle. So now I'm going to arrange all my threads this way. As you can see, all three threads are inserted. So I'm going to close this area up. As you can see, to close it, I'm going to press this black lever here. Once I press it down, it's going to be inserted. Now I'm going to take this part and close it up. So we're good to go. So this is how to actually thread an overlocker or a serger.